Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mirror podcast. I'm Kyle David, your host. And welcome back. Yeah. Today there's no guest. It's back to me. If you haven't noticed, there's kind of this pattern of guest and then me and then guest and me. Because sometimes I just have stuff on the top of my mind that I want to talk about. And uh that this is my opportunity to talk about it. So yeah, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mirror podcast. Today, I just want to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Kiss. Keep it simple. Remember when you were in school and your teacher said, keep it simple, stupid, kiss. I don't know if anyone told you that, but if you've heard it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you have no clue. It doesn't matter. We're not here to talk about kissing at all. But something else that just start with K, kindness. And just this idea of, I posted this the other day, of being kind because you don't know what other people are going through. And it works both ways, right? Like you don't know what other people are going through, and other people don't know what you're going through. So by default, the most logical thing for everyone to do is to try to be kind to each other, especially in this crazy world we live in where everything is divisive, everything makes people angry, everything is really to provoke anger, right? The media, the news, social media, people on social media, everything is meant, excuse me, good Lord, is that going to be edited out? Probably not. Man, real raw and uncensored. But uh, uh, there's so much that provokes anger, and we're all just so wrapped up so tight in this time in the world. Um and but it's a timeless idea, right, of just being kind to other people, and realizing that you don't know what people are going through. Um and so I know it sounds simple, like be kind to people, you don't know what they're going through, but truly, like, you have an opportunity, I have an opportunity every day to impact people's lives. Like, I think we take that so lightly. We don't think about it enough. That's why I want to do this episode about it. We take it so lightly. We don't really think about, like, you can actually impact people's life like every day by the way that you interact with them. I'm choosing to go out of your way to interact with people and not just live an isolated life on Lonely Island that you've created, pity party palace. Um, and no judgment to anybody. I've been there. I've lived on Lonely Island and pity party palace, that I just made up. But that's not using your life to impact others. There's more potential that you have. And it's almost selfish to just focus on, man, my pain, my trauma, this and that, so I have to stay. No. You need to get outside yourself. And the easiest way to do it is just being kind to the people that you interact with every day. And again, remembering that you don't know what's going on in their life. So even being kind to the people who aren't kind to you, or should I say, especially to the people that aren't kind to you, because the people that aren't kind to you, there's probably a reason for that. There's probably something going on behind that that's causing them. Well, there is. It's not probably. There is some reason why people are not treating you in a kind way and not being kind to you. There's a reason, and it's usually not you. So don't take it so personal. Everybody takes things so personally these days. No one can, no one can just agree to disagree. It's a personal attack. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but here it comes. Excuse me, man, the body is acting up today. But okay, so again, back to it, is that you have an opportunity to impact people's lives just by these small interactions that you have with people, whether you work at a restaurant, or you go to the grocery store, or you're at a restaurant, or your coworkers, or your family. Like, you're around humans almost every day. You have opportunities every day to be kind to someone. It doesn't take a ton of effort, but it does take getting outside of yourself. Because, like I said, part of it is realizing that when people are not kind to you, it's not a personal attack, unless they tell you it is, and then that's a different podcast. But right, like when people are rude to you, or people aren't kind to you back, and you're like, well, it wasn't even worth it. That's not true. You don't know what that act of kindness has done to somebody, right? It's very basic, like saying thank you, smiling, asking people how they're doing, seeing if there's something you could do to help somebody, right? Like it doesn't have to be huge. Again, the person that bags your groceries, you can just have a conversation with them quickly and say thank you. Like it's not a huge deal. You don't have to. We live in this world where we avoid people. Like we look down at our phones and we're literally 2 feet away from somebody and we don't talk to them, we don't interact with them, like we look down at our phones, we find some way to avoid eye contact or to avoid conversations, and it's crazy, like it's crazy. Goodness Lord, forgive me, you all forgive me. I had a bunch of chips last night, it's just mind boggling to me that like we're all put here on this planet, right? All these humans, billions of people on the spinning rock of Earth, and we don't act like we're all in this together, because we are all in this together, whether you like it or not, whether you think you like people or not. We're all in this thing together. We're all on this same spinning rock. Like it's just that's just the reality. If you understand anything, if you understand where you're at, it's called Earth. We're all on this thing together. We're all in this journey of life together. And so we all have almost a responsibility to be there for each other. And it doesn't have to be, again, a massive thing. But again, talking to people when you have the opportunity, smiling, being kind, you have the ability to impact people's lives. Again, I don't know about you, but I know I've had times in my life where I just was going through a tough season, a rough season, and the random people that either reached out to me or said hi to me, or just the perky person at the checkout line, like it makes an impact on you, especially when you're going through a tough time. Especially when you're going through a tough time, the people that are the small acts of kindness actually make a huge difference. If you, I would ask you guys to think about that. Have you ever had a time where you're just going through it and you remember just a small thing that somebody did? It wasn't huge, but it helped. It just was a small nudge in the right direction. It was just a small encouragement or something that was helpful. Uh, Again, we all have the ability to do it. We're all going through different things. Everybody's struggling on some level all the time. So if we're all running around interacting all the time, all day, we should all be looking for opportunities to just be kind to some people, knowing that everybody's going through something. And then if people took that same mindset, you'd be on the receiving end of it as well. You'd be on the giving end of it, and we'd all be on the giving end and receiving end of kindness, right? We'd all be out there looking for ways to be kind to people, and vice versa. All other people will be out there looking for ways to be kind to us. And it's really super basic. And but we let tribalism and our opinions and all these things turn us into angry, divided people, right? I mean, especially in America. I can't speak for a lot of other nations, although it seems like Canada's really doing a poor. Anyways, shout out to Canada. I'm sure the people are great. The leadership is horrible, but that's another podcast. Anyways, but yeah, we're also divided, and but we're all on the same journey in the same place. Like again, bring it back to a very, very ground level. We're all on the journey of life. We're all going from birth to death on the same physical planet, experiencing very, very, very similar things. Obviously, a lot of differentiating things as well, but a lot of similar things too. But I think the reason why people struggle to be kind to other people and to get outside of themselves is just that they're stuck on themselves so much. Again, guilty as charged, been there, get there sometimes, which is why you have to intentionally know where your mind's at. Are you basically just thinking about your own life all the time, your own problems, where you want, what you don't have, what you wish you had, why you're not happy, woe is me? If it's just constantly all about you, your thoughts are all about you, no wonder you're not fulfilled. No wonder you're not happy. This is not some high level psychology. Like if your thoughts are constantly focused on yourself and things aren't going great with yourself, well, you're stuck. You're just stuck. And it's up to you to get out of that. The easiest way to get out of it, again, if you know anything about AA or NA or the 12-step programs, it's heavily focused on service, on getting outside of yourself, because getting outside of yourself is what can help you feel fulfilled and get unstuck. It's not because they're like, man, now that you're sober, give back because it's like some ethereal great thought. No, it's like a practical thing to help you get unstuck and to not feel so much of the weight of life, especially when you first get sober. It's super hard. And so the best way to get outside of yourself and not be focusing on your own problems is to focus on other people. But we don't do that. Most people don't do that. I'm not always great at doing that, but I get better because I'm trying to focus on like not only thinking about myself. It's so selfish to just sit there and think about how bad your life is. Even and let me be empathetic here. Even if you are going through a lot, like the dumbest thing to do is just sit there and think about all that you're going through. That's not, how's that going to help you? There's no progress in just let's think about this. You have you fall and you break your arm. The worst thing you can do is just stand there and look at your broken arm. Like, you got to go do something. You have to do something else. You can't just sit there and look at your pain and expect it somehow to go away. It makes no sense. It makes no logical sense that you would be in pain or trauma or something in life and you would just stare at it and just look at it. It makes no sense. Again, I've been there. I've done it. It was super ineffective. It kept me stuck for a long time, just sitting there thinking about, woe is me. Oh my gosh, this hurts, this sucks. Wah, wah, wah. Again, not to be insensitive, but most people stay stuck far too long because they do let the victim mentality take over them. So again, bringing that full circle, the best way to get out of your stuckness or wherever you're stuck at, or the pain you're stuck in, I'm not taking away from the pain, but you have to do something. You have to do something, or you don't, and you're not. Nothing will change. Like, again, if you're overweight and you just sit there and think about how overweight you are, nothing will change. If you're in the midst of pain and trauma, but you just sit there and think about the pain and the trauma and do nothing, nothing's changing. Like, it's just how life works. Nothing's changing. You do nothing, you get nothing. But people just are so stuck on themselves, and they don't look for opportunities to get outside themselves. They just stay right there where they're at. And again, everybody's going through something. I think part of the problem, and I've been victim to this, is thinking that you're the only one going through tough stuff, or, oh, nobody would understand this. Look, not to take it away from you, but there's plenty of people that have way worse pain than you do, that have much more trauma than you do. You're not special. You're not unique. I'm not special. I'm not unique. We're just living the human experience, which is filled with pain and trauma. Some might say, well, mine is worse than theirs. Well, you think so, but in their mind, theirs is worse than yours. So the game of comparing your pain and your trauma is just absolutely selfish and silly. You got to get outside of that mindset. And again, I want to be empathetic. I understand it's very difficult at times. You're stuck where you're stuck at. But again, no one can unstuck you but you. And that goes back, again, bringing back to like, you have to get outside yourself. So that goes back to the idea of like, be kind to someone. Stop thinking about yourself for 2 minutes. When you're at the grocery store, just stressing about your thoughts and all the things spinning around your head, talk to the person that's helping you. Like, look to your right, get off your phone, say thank you, have a conversation, like, get outside yourself. That's for everybody. That's for me. That's for you. That's for those people there too. Like, everybody needs to get outside yourself. Be kind to some people. It's not even so much about like being cheesy, fake, and nice, like something like that. Like, no, it's about like, stop thinking about yourself for a minute. And when you think about someone else, you're probably gonna, if you're gonna interact with the grocery store checker and say, hey, hi, how you doing? That's kind. It's not about like putting on a fake smile and being cheesy or something like that. And they might even think you're the nicest person ever, but like, do something that is outside yourself, that is for them. And if you do something for someone else, even if it's engaged in a 30-second conversation, that's kind. Like, I think people misinterpret this word kind as like weak or cheesy or whatever. And like, no. It's just like not being selfish. That's my opinion. being kind is just not thinking about yourself. Like if you think about someone else, that's kind. If you're thinking about like, should I talk to this person, or like anything you're doing to get outside yourself is being kind. If you're others focused, that's kind. I don't think we think of kindness in the right terms. Again, I think we think of it as like cheesy, or like you have to like be smiley and bubbly. Like no, be yourself. Just stop thinking about yourself. Like stop thinking about yourself for a minute. That's kindness. Thinking about other people is kindness. So when I say let's be kind to other people because you don't know what other people are going through, I'm not saying be cheesy and bubbly and perky. If that's not your personality, don't be that. But just stop thinking about yourself for a minute and think about someone else. That's kind. That's what you should be looking for. It doesn't take a lot to do that 4 or 5 times a day. Was that take 10 minutes? If you do 2 minutes a piece, you engage with someone for 2 minutes, 5 times a day, 10 minutes. You don't have 10 minutes to stop thinking about yourself. Come on. This is a challenge to me and to everyone and to our culture. You don't have 10 minutes a day to get out, to stop thinking about yourself. Do it. Think about it. Like how many times, think about it right now. Ask yourself, how many times a day normally during a work week, whatever you want to call that, during the week, how many times per day do you intentionally think about someone else? Like intentionally think about what you can do for someone else. How many times? Some days I do a terrible job, but there's many days where I can tell you that I could say I did this, and this, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, right? Like, again, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I practiced it. Like very rarely do I go through a day and I never took a few minutes to try to talk to someone or be nice to somebody. Like very rarely. Again, it's not because I'm perfect. It's because I created the habits of intentionally stop thinking about myself. Think about somebody else. Again, it's you may be going through a lot, but that doesn't discount the fact that other people are too. And you have something to offer them. And it's easy. It's not that hard. We've overcomplicated coexisting with other humans. We overcomplicated it. We're so stuck. We are so stuck. This is the most selfish generation and culture that's ever existed. Our generation, millennials and below, you're getting called out. The most selfish, stuck humans that have ever lived. We have so much and we are so selfish. We can't take 10 minutes a day to think about other people. 2 minutes at a time. That's terrible. We should feel ashamed. That's horrible. How much time of your week is spent doing things for other people? Most of our generation, again, if you're doing a great job, keep crushing it. Most of our generation is doing a terrible job of being kind to people, of thinking about other people. It's how terrible that we don't have 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day to think about and try to do stuff for other people. That's crazy. No wonder we're the most depressed generation that there's ever been. No wonder antidepressants are at an all-time high, suicides at an all-time high, depression's at an all-time high, anxiety's at an all-time high, because all people do is think about themselves. When we have more than the world has ever had. That's insanity. That's insanity. We have the most comfortable lives in human history. That doesn't mean you don't have pain. I'm not saying that. Doesn't mean you don't have pain, you don't have trauma, you don't have hard things you're working through, but you have more than the majority of humans that have ever existed. And you don't got 10 minutes a day to try to help other people, to send a few text messages, to say hi to some people, to smile, to ask someone how they're doing, and generally try to say something helpful. Come on, folks. We're doing a poor job. And so that's why I'm doing this one. It's not to call everybody out, because again, I'm part of everybody. It's to call all of us out. Again, not to call you out, it's to call us all out. We all need to be called out. People are so like easily offended. Like, well, you need to stop being easily offended. What love is calling people out when there's something that could be better. That's love. It's being honest. So I'm being honest. In love, we suck at caring about other people. We're selfish. We're a super selfish generation. I know I'm ranting here, but man, it's horrible, like terrible, like really bad. So again, on back to very practically, like, what are we talking about here? We're talking about finding a few moments a day to be kind to other people. And what is kindness? It's just not thinking about yourself. Kindness is thinking about someone else, right? When you're thinking about yourself all the time, you're stuck. You're stuck. The most unhappy people are really just people who can't stop thinking about themselves. They can't stop thinking about themselves and their problems. So they're unhappy. They're stuck. Why? Because they can't stop thinking about themselves. Again, been there, done that. The times I was most unhappy, I couldn't stop thinking about myself and my problems. And I have real problems. Like, I went through some real stuff a few years back. But the reason I was so unhappy wasn't because I was just going through hard things. Life is full of hard things. It's because I couldn't stop thinking about myself and my problems and how I only was focused on me and my problems. And I never took time to do anything outside of me. It was just me, which, again, there's some of it that needed to be focused on me because I was going through some stuff. But I didn't need 24 hours a day just focused on me. I probably would have been a little more happy and progressed through my pain a lot quicker if I would have found opportunities to stop thinking about myself. Stop thinking about my problems for 10 minutes. Your problems aren't going to go away, but you're going to feel a lot better when you don't think about yourself for 10 minutes. I promise. I promise. I mean, I'm no psychologist. Jordan Peterson is the guy, but there's studies on how acts outside of yourself actually physiologically help change the chemical composition of your brain. You release more dopamine. You release dopamine. Dopamine. Like, you release the feel-good chemicals when you do something genuinely for someone else. So just on a practical level, do your health some good. Do your health a favor and do something nice for someone else. 2 minutes at a time. That's all I'm saying here. Take 2 minutes 5 times a day, 10 minutes a day. Send a couple text messages. Stop thinking about yourself. Send a couple text messages. Ask some people how they're doing. Smile at some people at the store. Smile at some people around you. Say hi. Get off your phone for 2 minutes or something when you're out in public and look at the person in line at the grocery store. Say hello. Like, I feel like I'm talking to kindergartners here. Again, being one of them, it's like, come on, Kyle, get off your phone, look up, talk to the person to your left. There's a human being right next to you. If you're just going to stare at your phone until you die, like, why are you living? Right? Like, I'm preaching. But come on, people, like, we have to do a better job. The past few years have really revealed to me, like, how selfish people are, myself included. We only think about ourselves. Like, that's it. We think about how bad our lives are, or why this happening, or I don't like this, or I want that, or this sucks, or like everything's against me. No, it's not. You're just living the human experience, which is full of pain and trauma. But again, so is everyone else. There's 7.8 billion people all experiencing pain and trauma. They need 10 minutes of your time, but you're so focused on yourself, you can't give people 10 minutes of your time. What are we doing? We could solve most of the problems in the world by taking 10 intentional minutes a day to try to make an impact on somebody else and just not think about ourselves for 10 minutes a day. 7.8 billion people don't think about themselves for 10 minutes a day. Man, I don't know the math because I'm very bad at math. But like, that's massive. That's a massive amount of minutes every day where people are doing stuff for other humans, where humans are helping other humans. 7.8 billion times 10. Someone do the math. It's trillions of minutes per day. If everybody took 2 minutes 5 times a day, like, we don't have that. Come on. So I hope this wasn't just a rant where I'm just like yelling and ranting, but like, it's all practical and it's all real. And so I hope you don't take it personally. Again, I'm saying I'm part of the group that I'm talking to. I got to be better at it too. I took some time yesterday to spend some time with somebody because I felt like, man, I have not done a good job of not getting outside myself and not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about myself all the time. I spend all my time with me, about me, on the things that I, me. And I didn't want to go do this certain thing, but I did it anyways because I was like, that person needs it, right? Got outside myself. Do it. It felt good afterwards. Do it. Try it, please. We have to be kind to each other. Again, what is kindness? It's not being cheesy and perky if that's not you. It's just not thinking about yourself and thinking about somebody else for a few minutes. So anyways, I think I'm about to start talking in circles. So I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I hope you feel encouraged and not well, maybe you do feel convicted, but good. Like, again, I really believe that love is telling people the truth. And so if you feel a little bit convicted, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It really doesn't. If you are doing a terrible job and all you're doing is thinking about yourself, it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you need to put some more intentionality into what are you doing? Like, do you want to stay where you're at, unhappy and stuck? If not, again, you're not a bad person. You're just You have opportunity. We all do. So take the opportunity, find 10 minutes a day, and think about other people and don't think about yourself for 10 minutes a day. That's it. This is the podcast. Don't think about yourself for 10 minutes a day. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. I'm out. I'll talk to you next time. Adios.